Have you ever noticed how some people seem impenetrable? As if there were an invisible layer preventing others from truly understanding them. There's something intriguing about it, something magnetic. Franz Kafka once wrote, "It is safer to be hidden, but there is no pleasure in it." What did he mean by that? Does becoming an enigma to the world mean giving up real connections? Or is there a middle ground between being read like an open book and remaining a mystery? We live in an era of overexposure. Social media has turned predictability into a norm. Every thought, every feeling, every opinion is instantly shared. And ironically, the more predictable we become, the less valuable our presence seems to be. Now, think about the individuals who have impacted you the most. Artists, philosophers, thinkers. What do they have in common? Mystery. What is not immediately understood becomes irresistible to the human mind. This explains why some of history's most influential figures cultivated an aura of uncertainty around themselves. But what does it really mean to be unreadable in a world that demands constant exposure? How can you balance authenticity and mystery without becoming cold or inaccessible? In this video, we will explore the art of being unreadable, understanding how mystery can be a powerful tool to strengthen your presence, your social influence, and even your connection with yourself. The danger of predictability. Being predictable is an invitation to be manipulated. When people know exactly how you think, how you react, and what you want, it becomes easy for them to shape their actions to influence your decisions. This happens at every level of life, at work, in relationships, and even in the simplest daily interactions. The philosopher Balthasar Gracian wrote, "A wise man never lets himself be fully known, for to be completely understood is to be conquered." And he was right. Predictability may seem harmless, but deep down, it weakens your position in any social dynamic. Think about strategy games. In chess, for example, a player who repeats the same movement patterns becomes vulnerable because the opponent can anticipate their moves. The same happens in real life. If your reactions are always the same, people begin to manipulate your emotions without you even noticing. Moreover, there is a deep psychological effect. The more predictable someone becomes, the less interesting they appear. Mystery sparks curiosity and holds attention. When everything is already in plain sight, there is no reason to explore further. This explains why some people quickly lose their influence over others. They offer no hidden layers to be discovered. Being enigmatic, on the other hand, creates a sense of respect and magnetism. People don't know exactly what to expect from you, and this forces them to observe you more closely. But how can we apply this idea in a practical way? How can we avoid falling into the trap of predictability without losing authenticity? In the next few minutes, we will explore the psychology behind mystery and how it can be used as a strategic advantage in the social world. The psychology of mystery. Mystery has an almost hypnotic effect on the human mind. What we cannot decipher holds us, intrigues us, and makes us return in search of answers. There is a psychological reason for this. Our brain is programmed to fill in gaps, to seek meaning where ambiguity exists. Carl Jung observed this phenomenon in his theory of the shadow. He believed that each person carries hidden aspects within themselves, repressed impulses, unrecognized desires, traits we prefer to ignore. And it is precisely this unknown part within us that makes us feel drawn to mystery in others. The less someone reveals about themselves, the more space we have to project our own interpretations onto them. Machiavelli, on the other hand, saw mystery as an instrument of power. In The Prince, he states that a leader must be unpredictable and difficult to read. He knew that by concealing his true intentions, he maintained control over both allies and enemies. A person who is entirely transparent becomes a hostage to predictability, while someone who knows how to alternate between openness and secrecy remains in control of interactions. This explains why enigmatic figures exert so much fascination. Think of historical characters like Da Vinci, who left behind coded notes and an aura of secrecy surrounding his genius. Or writers like Fernando Pessoa, who fragmented his identity into multiple heteronyms, making himself a literary enigma. However, mystery does not mean falsehood. It is not about hiding who you are, but understanding that revealing everything immediately dissolves the allure. There is a balance between authenticity and reserve, between being understood and maintaining a layer of depth that is only accessible to those who truly deserve it. But how can we develop this enigmatic presence in real life? How can we use mystery consciously without becoming distant or unapproachable? Controlling the narrative of your personality. How others perceive you is not a matter of chance, it's a construction. Every word spoken, every silence kept, every gesture or omission contributes to the narrative of your personality. However, most people allow this narrative to be written by accident, without intention or strategy. The result, they become easily decipherable, predictable, and consequently forgettable. Creating an intriguing presence does not mean becoming an unreachable shadow. On the contrary, it's about learning to reveal just enough at the right moments to spark interest without exposing everything. Great leaders, artists, and thinkers have always known this. There is power in being partially unknown. The key is in the balance between openness and mystery. When you expose too much, you lose depth, your presence becomes mundane. When you shut yourself off completely, you create distance and coldness. The secret is to share strategically, offer small glimpses of what you think and feel, but leave gaps that others must fill on their own. An example of this is the art of pause in conversation. People who speak incessantly become predictable, while those who know when to remain silent at the right moments spark curiosity. Silence creates space for others to project their own interpretations, making you a more captivating figure. Moreover, the stories you tell about yourself are crucial. Instead of dumping random information, build a narrative about your life. Choose elements that create a sense of evolution, overcoming obstacles, or complexity. When someone asks about you, don't give everything away at once. Hint, provoke, leave questions unanswered. After all, what keeps us engaged with a book or a movie is not the amount of information delivered immediately, but the mystery that makes us want to turn the next page. Your personality should work the same way, a narrative that is never fully revealed, but always suggests that there is more to be discovered. Strategies to be unreadable. Maintaining an air of mystery and depth requires skill and practice. The art of being unreadable is not only in what you say but also in what you don't say, the pauses you create, and the choices you make when interacting with others. If you want to cultivate this presence, there are some practical techniques that can help you become a more intriguing person without seeming distant or arrogant. The first strategy is the power of silence. Silence, when used effectively, has the power to amplify your presence. When you're someone who knows the value of a pause in the middle of a conversation, you convey the idea that your mind is complex and full of layers. Words are important, but what is left unsaid holds equal weight. Imagine a conversation where you answer a question with an intentional pause before speaking. This small gesture creates tension, sparks the curiosity of the other person, and makes them wonder what else you know or think. This silence, far from being uncomfortable, adds a layer of depth to your character, making others feel compelled to wait for more. Another crucial technique is the use of ambiguous answers. Don't reveal everything at once. When someone asks you a question, instead of giving a direct response, provide an answer that allows for interpretation. If someone asks what you think about a specific topic, instead of launching into a full explanation, say something like, "Well, there's a lot to consider about that." It depends on how we look at the situation, or I would say it's more complicated than it seems at first glance. This kind of answer keeps the other person interested, as they feel there are more layers to be uncovered. The key here is balance. Being unreadable doesn't mean being evasive or uninteresting. It's not about becoming someone hard to relate to, but about knowing when to reveal and when to withhold. When you can maintain a level of mystery without being inaccessible, you create a powerful presence. Additionally, keep in mind that people usually seek easy explanations. When you refuse to be simplified, you become an enigma that defies immediate understanding. That, in itself, is fascinating. However, the mystery needs to be tempered with a sense of warmth. You should be someone others want to connect with, but without being easy to decipher. This approach creates an interesting psychological game. People will want to understand you, but at the same time, you'll keep them on edge, stimulating curiosity and admiration. This is not a manipulation strategy, but rather a way to create a memorable and impactful presence. Now, let's explore how these techniques can be applied in specific, everyday contexts and how you can adjust them depending on the situation and the people around you. Now that we've explored the strategies for becoming an unreadable person, it's clear that mystery isn't just about hiding parts of yourself. It's about balancing what we reveal with what we leave in the shadows, creating an intriguing and deep presence. As we've seen, the power of silence, ambiguous responses, and the ability to control the narrative of your personality are key elements in creating this aura of mystery that attracts, but doesn't trap. Being unreadable doesn't mean pushing people away or being inaccessible. On the contrary, it's about being the person others want to understand, but never fully can. By applying these strategies, you'll not only attract more attention, but also learn to connect with others in a more genuine and profound way. The game of personality isn't about manipulation, but about gradual and careful revelation. The true art of being unreadable is understanding what and when to share, always creating an extra layer to be uncovered. Throughout this process, you begin to build a magnetic presence without having to force yourself to be something you're not. If you resonated with the ideas in this video and want to learn more about mastering the art of personality and self-knowledge, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the upcoming videos. We'll continue exploring together the mysteries of the human mind and how we can become more intriguing and authentic versions of ourselves. Don't miss the next video, as we have much more to share. See you next time.